So anyway, then everybody introduced themselves. And we all talked about what we used to work at and what we did. Some of them are still working. And everybody there was 2 or 3 trips. This is our 2nd trip. This is our 3rd trip. And Egbert gets up and they say, this is our 10th trip. And they say, ooh. And we got up, this is our 14th trip. Oh. And this is the first time in 14 times on Elder Hostel that we have been the people who have had the most trips. Every other time, some little old lady will get up and say, this is my 28th trip, or a couple will say, we have had 54 trips. So I'm savoring the experience of being the one with the most trips. So we got in the bus and we went to the Jewels of the Rainforest. Now, I had no idea what that was going to be, but it was like a museum. It was marvelous. This man had been collecting since he was 5 years old, and his wife was showing us around and explaining everything, and she says, well, what do you do when you have all these collections? We decided that we would start a museum for them. I don't know if museum is the right word. But anyway, he had butterflies and beetles and the scarabs and spiders and moths, and all on display. He had them in boxes, plastic boxes, but the way he displayed them was just marvelous. Some of them he made just in lines, and others with circles, and others was it was just wonderful. You didn't get tired of looking at them, and they were just beautiful. It was mostly butterflies, and oh God, that was fantastic. His wife was Margaret, and a gallery, that's what it should be called, a gallery of species. Well, it was just great. Everybody enjoyed it so much, and then they had a little movie there that showed a lot more about all the animals in the forest and how they camouflage themselves. I'm not talking about big animals. I'm talking about these little stick animals and beetles and all those, ants and all that stuff. It was really good. Now all over this city and the country here, we see the palm trees and the ficus trees and the flame trees with their gorgeous red colors, and something there that I can't think what they are, but they're all orange. It's so beautiful. And everything is green, green, green. When we come from our place where things are dead from the winter, this is just so wonderful. And flowers every place you look, and it seems like most is a color of purples and reds and whites. You don't see, well, I saw daylilies that were yellows and oranges, but mostly everything purple, reds, and whites. The bougainvillea and the white orchid trees, there's hibiscuses and the flame trees. And he told us that the flame tree is a legume, and it grows in the coffee fields. Now, I don't know if it's placed there or not, but it puts nitrogen back in the ground, and it shades the coffee fields, and they're called shade fields because of the trees. Now this gives me pause to think that there may be fields of coffee that don't have trees in them and are just called coffee fields. Who knows? So we had lunch then at the University of Peace. God, it took forever to get there. We drove, and he says, well, it's not close to the city. They put it way out there so that there could be time to study without interruptions of cars and stuff running around. And we just got there in time for lunch. They had a cafeteria, and he says, no, you don't have to worry about anything. This is no fat, no cholesterol, which means no bread and butter and no dessert. For us elder hostels who only got 2 more years to live, and we don't care about that. But anyway,